feel so official. I feel like Philip DeFranco in this thing. Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. Or welcome if you are new here. Okay, so today's video is going to be a story time. Yes, my very first story time. It's going to be about my cursed car. For those of you that didn't know, I have divorced parents. I used to live with my dad, and I recently just moved back in with my mom. When I lived with my dad, I had a Hummer H3, I believe. I know what you're thinking. Wow, economy killer. Ever since I was young, my mom always talked about bugs and how she loved them. And I always thought they were cool. Like, I would always play, like, slug bug and stuff with my sister in the car and, like, hit her way too hard. That's another story. But anyways, when I moved in with my mom, I really had no clue what kind of car I wanted. Like, I'm not a car person whatsoever. We went there, and basically I was in the mindset of just the most reliable, cheapest option, because eventually I'm gonna have to start paying for my own car stuff, you know what I mean? The lady looked up all the cars, and we were sitting there looking through all these cars, and none of them really stuck out. And then she found a Bug, a 2013 Volkswagen Bug, and my mom instantly was like, let's test drive it. Like, I want to test drive it. I want to see what it's like. Like, I wasn't exceptionally excited about getting a Bug, but I also wasn't against it, you know what I mean? So we went and test drove the car, and I didn't get to test drive it. I don't know why I didn't test drive the car at the time, but my mom was the one who test drove it. I sat in the back seat. Okay, so red flag number one was that the tire light was on. So my mom asked Janet why the tire light was on, and at the time that we were buying the car, this was like late December, and we live in Colorado, so it's cold in the winter, right? And Janet told us that it was mainly just because it was cold, which is normal, right? Like, it's when it's cold outside, like, tire pressure goes down and then your tire light comes on. So we weren't worried about it, basically. We figured it was because of we didn't think twice about what she had told us. So then, long story short, we ended up getting the car. My mom bought it that day. We went back the next day to pick it up. So if you live in Colorado, then you know that the weather is like on and off, on and off, on and off. The next day, it was probably about low 60s, high 60s, low 70s. It was probably about high 60s, low 70s, and the day before was probably about in the 30s, right? So the day I went to go pick up the car, I got in the car, I turned it on, and the tire light was still on. So I rolled down my window because my mom was standing outside the car. She wanted to take pictures and stuff to put on Facebook. She was standing outside the car, and I was like, Mom, the tire light's still on. Like, is it still cold enough for the pressure in the tires to be down? So she was like, I don't really know, Haven. I'm tired. It's after work, blah, blah, blah. So I drove the car home. And then every single day when I would turn the car on, I would notice the tire light was on. Eventually, I was just like, okay, it must be broken. Like, no one's going to die from a broken tire light. You know what I mean? I just kind of looked over it. I never said anything else to my mom. I never let it bother me because it's a tire light. You know what I mean? But y'all, when anything is wrong during a test drive, I feel like it's a sign. It's a sign from God. God is saying, do not buy this vehicle, for you will be oppressed. And I did not listen to the Lord, and we just got the car. We did not listen to his signs. We did not see his little red flag there just flashing. So on to the next red flag. This is not the car's fault. You know what I mean? Like, this is not anything that the car did. So one day, this was like a few months later, tire light was still on, everything. We were staying in an Airbnb in Old Colorado City because we were in the process of moving. And so my mom was like, can I borrow your car? Because we're just going to go downtown. My car's too big, whatever. She wanted to borrow my car to go get food or whatever. I was like, okay, give me this, blah, blah, blah. You know what I mean? Like, she was just going to get food. She comes back. I go outside like, ooh, food. I'm so excited. And she starts yelling. She was like, what is this dent in your car? What is going on? Why do you have a dent in your car? Like, what did you do? Why didn't you tell me? How long has this been here? And I was like, whoa, what are you talking about? What are you talking about? Like, I honestly, guys, I had no clue what she was talking about. And then she showed me this huge dent in the side of my car. I was so upset, y'all. You don't even know. Like, this car was 2 months old. I did not get in an accident in the car. I had not caused the accident. My mom really didn't believe me. She was mad for about like 3 days. And I was just like, Mom, I'm sorry. Stop it. I didn't do it. The car had a dent in it. And my theory was that I had gotten hit in a parking lot and I didn't notice. Like, it was on the passenger side, mind you. The dent was on the passenger side, and I don't ever have passengers. I drive usually by myself, and this had to have happened like within a day of my mom finding it, because I feel like otherwise I would have seen it, you know, but I really did not know anything about it. So it had to have happened at school or in a grocery store or somewhere in a parking lot, you know what I mean? And so that's red flag number 2. 2 months. Mind you, 2 months after I buy this car, somebody hits it in a parking lot and I don't even notice. And it's just the car. It's not the car, but it's the car. It has bad juju, guys. It has such bad juju. Like, I've gotten in so many car fights. I've gotten cut off so many times. I've hit curbs all the time. And mind you, none of this ever happened in my old car. And I feel like this stuff does not happen to anyone else. That's probably super untrue because this stuff probably happens to everyone else. But I just felt so cursed. When I had my Hummer, even though it was a freaking energy sucker, I never had any of the stuff. No one ever yelled at me on the road. I never hit a curb. I always had good, like, vibes when I was driving it. I always felt good. Nothing ever bad happened to it. And this car just felt like nothing could go right. Nothing could go right. Red flag number 3. Okay, red flag number 3 is, so one day my school is like right down the street from my house, right? My old high school is like right down the street. So during one of my off periods, I drove home, and then I was like in my house. This was a really hot day. This was like the end of April, maybe. So maybe it was the beginning of May. I think this was the beginning of May. So it was hot outside. Probably not hot for normal people, but hot for Colorado people. Like, the car was toasted. I was in here. I was making lunch, doing my thing, like on my off period, and I was getting ready to go back. I think I might have had rehearsal after school. I think that's why I was going back. I had like a 6th and 7th off, so my car was sitting out there. My school has 90-minute periods, so my car was sitting out there for a few hours, right? And I got back in my car to head back to rehearsal. And so I started my car, right? And all you heard was like something banging and then like an air noise or whatever. It was like loud. It was like shaking the car. And I got so scared. Like I was like, what the f-? And so my instant reaction was to turn the car off. So I turned the car off. And guys, when I turned the car back on, my AC was broken. My AC was broken, okay? My AC was freaking broken. It was broken. My AC was broken, and it didn't work, and I was so upset. It was freaking hot outside. The next few months, I had to drive around without an air conditioner in Colorado. It was all of June that I didn't have an AC. I got my AC fixed at the end of June. It cost me $300, and I got it fixed finally. But y'all, before I had it fixed, I was driving around like with my freaking leg up, like, whew. My back was all sweaty, my legs were all sweaty, like, it was a disaster. So, of course, after my AC was broken, after my tire light was broken, after I had a dent in my car, this was all within a good 3-4 months, this happened. This takes us into red flag number 4. So last but not least, this was this Monday. So today when I'm filming this, it is Saturday the 14th, I want to say. Yeah, it's Saturday the 14th. And this happened this Monday. So I was driving my car and I was going to babysit. And the people I was babysitting for, they live down in Old Colorado City, right? And I was driving down I-25, which is the interstate in Colorado Springs. It goes through Colorado Springs, it goes through Castle Rock, it goes into Denver. If you take it all the way down this way, I'm sure it goes other places. I don't really know. So I'd been to their house once, I thought I knew, but then I ended up wanting to get on my GPS to figure out, like, just to make sure that I was going to get where I needed to go on time instead of getting lost, because I do get lost a lot. So I was on the phone, typing in, I don't ever do this. Do not enter GPS directions when you're freaking on the interstate or driving in general. But I was driving in the slow lane and I entered the GPS, right? And so I thought I had to get off at the next turn or at the next exit, but I really had 2 exits to go. So then I ended up getting into the middle lane. In my head, I was like, I had this feeling that I should just stay in the slow lane. Oh, I got the feeling. I still went into the freaking middle lane. And guys, I hit a pothole that was dead center in the freaking middle lane. I was probably going about 70. I'm not really, I think it's 65 on the interstate. Maybe I was going the speed limit, but I'm not sure. I think I was going like 70, 75, and I hit this pothole. Guys, I hit this pothole so hard. It like, I knew the moment I hit it, I just cussed my life away. I knew something had happened. I knew my tire was freaking popped. Like, I can't describe the feeling exactly because I feel like when I was when I was in driving school, our driving instructor told us that when your tire pops, you know, because you don't really have good control over the car and you try not to swerve and don't brake if you have a popped tire, something like that. That's what he was saying. And so my tire, I knew something was wrong with my tire. I was going after I hit the pothole, and I remember like feeling like something was off, and then I slowly felt like I was like leaning to the side. Like the tire was deflating and I was just like in my car like bawling like I knew it had popped and I was in the middle of the freaking highway. I start bawling. I was like, what do I do? What do I do? I have to be like my first thought was like I have to be at this person's house because they have stuff they have to do for work. Like they have meetings. They planned this night and they needed me to babysit. Like I need to get to this person's house. The good news was that I was right like in front of an exit and there was nobody in the slow lane, so I was able to get over in time to exit. So I exited. I was going as slow as freaking possible. I was bawling. I was like, Haven, pull yourself together. You're gonna crash your car if you don't stop crying. Like focused. So I was driving. I exited. There was a come and go. So the exit went like this, right? And there was a come and go like right on the corner of the exit. So I exited, I parked in the come and go. The good news was that I had left like an hour early because I just didn't want to be late. Like I'm that type of person, I just would rather be like 30 minutes early than be like 5 minutes late. You know what I mean? So I left an hour early, and the time that my tire popped, it was like, I left at 3, it was like 3:20. You know what I mean? And so I called him around 3:25 and I was like, my tire popped. He was like, okay, we have like 45 minutes before I need to leave the house. So I'm just going to come. We're going to get your tire put on. You can drive to my house and everything will be okay. So then you don't have to figure this out when it's dark outside because I'm not getting back until late, etc., etc. So I'm sitting in my car at the gas station and bawling. Like the tears had come back. I'm just sitting there crying. Like I called my mom. I was like, Mom, my tire popped. And she was like, oh my God. And I was like, could you please not get me out of here right now? I just almost died. And mind you, I've had my car for end of December, January, March, April, May, June, July. I've had it for almost, probably not even 6 months. It's like 5 months and a few weeks because I got it at the end of December, like probably the 27th. It was like right after Christmas. So Daniel came out. We started changing my tire. We had to look it up a couple times, and like then this guy who was actually, there was another person whose tire had flattened, or I'm not really sure, but this other guy had come to help them, and he was like, you have a Volkswagen, like you need like the key or something, the lug key or whatever, which apparently, so when I bought my car, they'd given me this little star key, right? And it was like a bolt, like it's like this big around, it has like a star in it. And they gave it to me and I was like, what the fuck is this? Like no one said anything to me about what it was. So in my mind, I was like, well, do I need it? I had almost threw it away, guys. Like I remember like cleaning out my car and being like, why do I even have this? Like I had thought about throwing it away and then I was like, no, just keep it. Turns out that Volkswagens have a key on each tire because they don't want people stealing tires. Like they try to make it super hard for people to steal the tires off. So they give you this key so that it's like a lock that you can't get the tire off without it. Like if my tire was flat and I didn't have that, I would have had to get a tow truck to tow it to a dealership so they could get it off with their key and all this stuff. Like it would have been a mess. But luckily I'd kept the freaking key. So we got the tire off. We put my spare on. My spare was flat. Like it was like a pancake. Like the bottom of it was like this. So then Daniel drove it over to the air pump, which luckily the gas station I pulled over had an air pump. We filled it up. I drove to his house. Everything was fine after that. I just have been really nervous to drive an I-25. I've sat for them since Monday, and I've been so nervous to just, like, drive on that road and just, guys, this car is a mess. It makes me so upset. So honestly, guys, like, I don't even want this car anymore. Like, after my tire popped, I got it fixed. My tire's fixed, right? But after my tire popped, I was so ready to just get rid of this car. I told my mom, I was like, is there any way we can trade this car in? And she said, well, cars are depreciating us. I don't freaking know. This car is literally like devil. The devil lives in my car. That's what the title is going to be of this video. The devil lives in my car. So yeah, that's my cursed car stories. At this point, I'm honestly like, me and my car have no relationship. You know, some people have like really good relationships with their car and they're like, oh, this is my baby, me and my baby. Like, I take care of her, she take care of me. Like, you know what I mean? Like that kind of, like they have better relationships with their cars than they do with their girls. You know what I mean? If you guys have any crazy car stories, let me know down in the description. If your car is also cursed. Okay guys, so this is the end of the video. Before I go, I wanted to mention that I will be doing a 100 subscriber giveaway. Yes, a giveaway. I'm so excited. Hopefully it comes soon. Once I hit 100 subscribers, I'm going to give away either some makeup, which the problem with that is that I want my channel to be entertaining and gender neutral? Question mark? I want it to be something that both genders can enjoy. If you classify yourself as an Apache helicopter, I want to include you in there too, girl. I am woke. Oh, I forgot to mention, it's a $100 100 subscriber giveaway. So it's going to be all within $100. And since it's around back to school time, I'm thinking that I would be giving away school supplies or maybe like Beats headphones, something that like the kids like these days. You know what I mean? But anyway, guys, so that video will be coming soon. My next video is going to be a stream. I know, I'm so excited. I'm setting it up with my dad right now. We're trying to decide if he's going to be in the stream or if I'm going to just be using his software because I have a Mac and I use Origin. So I'm not at the gaming level of the gods yet, but we're getting there. We're getting there. I think I might be streaming my first time playing Fortnite. If you guys like that video idea, go ahead and comment down below. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell, and I will be seeing you guys here soon. Yay! Say a little prayer for me in my car.